I wasn't going, and I know I'm talking to myself right now. I don't know. Yeah, there's no one in here at the moment. So we'll wait a second before we kind of dive into things. Yeah, and I don't know how well this will do with the reception that I might have. Driving down 20 East here. We're about to, we're going to pass Bobby Dodd. Gonna go up to, gonna go up to Papa Rex place up in the north side of the state here, and get ready to go to Clemson tomorrow. What's going on, Colby? It's gonna be hard. This is super ill advised. You probably shouldn't attempt to do a live show while you're driving. But I'm gonna do it. Hey, you only live once, baby. But yeah, I'm on my way to Papa Rex in preparation. We'll get up early tomorrow, head to Clemson. I'm on 20 East right now. And like always, 285 is the devil's asshole as it pertains to the state of Georgia. And evidently, it's bumper to bumper. So I'm going to go through downtown. I'll get to this is not safe reported. Yeah, definitely report me. I don't think I'm doing anything illegal. I'm not texting and driving. I'm streaming and driving, and plenty of people have done that. But I'll have to go right through downtown, so I'll get to see Bobby Dodd on my way up here. My GPS is hollering at me. There's, there's a 10-minute slowdown. Here's the other thing: if you don't drive downtown a lot, you have to be willing to get in an accident if you want to merge or get over. So that's pretty much the deal with that. Buzz Talk, what's going on, buddy? How much crash right now you want? No balls, huh? I didn't get that, but I read it as I was navigating downtown Atlanta traffic. Again, very smart. Um, it did just break that Jim Harbaugh is suspended for the rest of the regular season. So I guess the next three games, that includes Penn State. There was a video that surfaced, I guess, of the moment that he was informed that he wasn't going to be able to coach. So he's not going to be able to be on the sideline. I assume that he can't even be in the stadium whatsoever. That would be my guess, but I don't know. Pete Thamel, think it was Pete Thamel from ESPN that broke that story. Oh, here we are. I see the governor's mansion. It's interesting. Like I've said, and people might say I'm naive or whatever. I hear you, GPS. Um, I just feel like I don't know what Jim Harbaugh did to piss off the NCAA. Like Ohio State has shared signs that they stole, but evidently they didn't do it by using video, though I don't really know how that's known. Um, I just feel like for whatever reason, Jim Harbaugh has fallen out of favor with the NCAA, and I mean because he got these pandemic level one violations for buying burgers for people because he wasn't supposed to buy burgers. Um, You weren't supposed to, recruit during that time period. All right, now we're into. I'm getting on the 75-85 merge here, so um, stop and get a chili dog at the varsity. I've told you guys I despise the varsity. Like if you ever need a colon cleansing, you go to varsity, and you can spend, honestly, like A grade laxatives are cheaper and more and healthier for you than the varsity is. What's up? What's up, Buzzstock? Sad thing is the only sad thing is the only one that got caught. Yeah, he got caught. Again, I've said this before, I do not trust the NCAA to fairly enforce the rules. That's probably like water is wet, sky is blue. NCAA is notorious for being extraordinarily selective in how they enforce the rules that they have. So interesting. I'm trying to think, is there anything else that's come out in latest college football news? Mm, oh, I did a video on it today. What am I thinking? I did a video. Buzz with a $2 super chat. WreckTalk looking good tonight. Appreciate it. I'm growing the hair out. I'm growing the hair out. I think I am chasing the um, insane thought that I will look like Aragorn if I grow my hair out, and I will run into battle and slay many orcs and save the world. So we'll see if that ends up happening. But yeah, Lane Kiffin um, coming under. Honestly, from what I've seen, most people are defending Lane Kiffin, including myself. Um, Audio was leaked that of him meeting with some kid. Is it Collins or Rollins? I think it's his last name is Rollins, 3-star recruit that had some mental health crisis. His mom called the trainer. They said, "Go meet. You need to go meet with Lane." He ignored it for 2 weeks. Showed up 2 weeks later when he, when he wanted to go, and recorded the meeting with him. I didn't say it in the video. I feel like that it took probably 2 weeks to get attorneys ready and everything for what he was most likely planning to do, which was sue Old Miss. It's like $30 or $50 million lawsuit. But this leaked before we played them in week 3, so it probably is a little bit calculated that it's surfaced, I guess, in the mainstream right before Georgia. I don't know. What do you guys think? The Michigan man huffing all the copium today. I'm not a Michigan man. Are you talking about me? They absolutely broke the rules. All I'm saying is, you broke the rules. I broke the rules. I'm doing no days detention. Um, they definitely broke the rules. All I'm saying is, can we fairly enforce the rules that we have? This stinks to me. I feel like there's far more going on than behind the scenes than what is being reported. Oh, Buzz Talk with the 10. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Um, this is a good time to do the super chats while I'm trying to get on the 85-75 merge, by the way. These people don't know they're surrounded by greatness. Lane was 100% in the right. You have made a commitment to a D1 program. If you're going through things, it's your job to communicate with your coach. You ignore your boss, you're going to get fired. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you can't, if he, like I said in the video today, let me lock my door because, as always in Atlanta, there's, homeless people downtown Atlanta are pretty aggressive. I've had people like beat on my window to hold their signs up. And I'm like, dude, I saw your sign. Like, I'm not giving you any money. The money I have is mine. It's mine. But yeah, all he had to do was, even if he legitimately felt like I'm too depressed or whatever to meet with him, that you didn't even call or anything is going to get you fired, no matter where you are. And that I know Lane called him a pussy and stuff, and said, "What world do you live in?" But like, I think that's pretty tame. Like, I might have gone off a little bit more. As I just don't know why you have to be so disrespectful. It's like, well, it's kind of disrespectful to just ghost someone for 2 weeks. Nah, you no, not you, Wreck Man. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If I was a Michigan fan, see the win for Michigan fans is not to deny that it happened or deny that it's cheating. I would just be like, well, what about what about all this other stuff? You can't convince North Carolina fans of it. They did cheat for a decade across all sports, and like giving kids grades for classes they never attended. Other people writing term papers for kids, and then the NCAA says, "Well, we don't rule on academic matters." But then they ding. There's several schools, Missouri being one of them. Missouri's like a whipping boy of the NCAA. I even saw a meme that said, "Oh, Michigan cheated. Time to punish Missouri," which is about true. The NCAA will pick some targets to justify their meager existence, and then leave actual wrongdoing alone. So Georgia Tech gets an ACC championship vacated because someone gave a tracksuit to Demaryius Thomas. North Carolina cheats for a decade. That's 100% okay. And then what about Cam Newton? I mean, we all but know he got paid, a lot of money to go to Auburn, which was against the rules. Nothing comes of this. And there's ad infinitum the number of examples of things that the NCAA has just ignored. I mean, it's almost like these venture capital Silicon Valley startup tech companies where all these people that should know better regulating this that should have stepped in that didn't. And I'm thinking of Theranos. There was a truck company named Nikola that said that they were going to have hydrogen powered engines, and they literally had like the shell of a truck that they pulled up to the top of a hill and rolled it down to show like their investors and things, and they messed with the angle like in post processing to make it look like it was driving when it was really just rolling down a hill. That's a great example for what the NCAA actually is, a complete and utter farce. Um, but yeah, I don't think I've seen many people saying Lane was in the wrong, because it is your responsibility to take care of whatever issues or do whatever you need to do to overcome the issues that you're facing. I mean, what is the alternative? Depend on I mean, no one else can absolve you or fix your mental issues. At some point, you're going to have to do something, whether it's medication, like cognitive behavioral therapy, or whatever. I mean, honestly, that's in part why I even started a YouTube channel. The company I was working for went bankrupt or was going bankrupt. Luckily, I was high enough to see that that was coming. And I was kind of depressed about it. I was getting paid to do nothing at the time, and I was depressed. And so I started a YouTube channel while I was looking for other jobs, and that really helped me. Like instead of just laying in bed saying, "Oh, woe is me, this is terrible. Oh my God, what am I going to do?" Well, I mean, do something with your time. Do something productive with your time, and I'm really glad that I did. Got to meet Sea Dog. Got to go meet all these people at the Slob Olympics. We have this wonderful community that I get to engage with. Like, that's all. I'm real. I count myself extremely fortunate to be a part of this. I really do. Did you just say you crap your pants? Oh God, it's getting it's getting a little crazy here downtown Atlanta. I can't read the super chat at the moment. I appreciate the $2 super chat, Buzz. It's bumper to bumper. I'll show you. I'll show you. It's probably disorienting. That's what it looks like downtown here. Passing my old building I used to work at, the what is it, 191 Peachtree. It was the OG place to be back in the 90s. They've since built better buildings. I don't work with that company anymore. There's Grady. Grady's right over my left shoulder there. But yeah, now I guess moving into I made like a really long video on previewing Clemson, and I did a matcha wreck video on it. The thing is, like, I don't think I've ever had a Clemson fan come at me. Like, I've never had any issues with Clemson fans. I've never, I don't know. I've just never had any issue with them. See if you can see the beautiful city, the city that I love, the city that I bleed white and gold for. Ugh, we need to get over though. It'd be hilarious if I stream myself in like a fender bender or something. I think we need to get over it one more. There we go. Um, the more I think about the Clemson game, the more worried I get about it. Just from the standpoint of Georgia Tech's strengths and weaknesses do not match up well with Clemson's strengths and weaknesses, and vice versa. Clemson's strengths and weaknesses match up really well with ours. So, what do I mean by that? The strength of our team undoubtedly is our offense. Georgia Tech's offense is ranked, what, 14th in the country right now? We're averaging nearly, and it might even be north of it now, 470 yards a game. Our rushing game has gone absolutely off. The weakness is our defense, and it's one of the greatest weaknesses of any team right now. I mean, I think we're ranked 129th in total defense, 132nd in rush defense, and their weakness is their offense, which is plays into our weakness. So even though their offense is not that great, they're ranked like 70 something in the country. It's probably not going to matter that much because our defense is so bad. And they're look, we're not going to score 40 points on Clemson's defense. If we do, I would be very, very surprised if we scored more than 35 points on Clemson's defense. It's ranked sixth in the country for a reason. It's a really good defense. The thing that will prove interesting is special teams and turnovers. Clemson's special teams have been awful. Their special teams have lost them games this year, right? I mean, they lost against Florida State in part because they couldn't hit a late field goal from a kid that they pulled out of France, um, that was told basically to graduate and move on, to my knowledge, because they had a way better kicker. Turns out he wasn't as good as they thought. Still misses a field goal. How many times has Clemson turned it over? Not only in the red zone, how many times has Clemson turned it over on their own one? They did it. Hold on. They did it multiple times against Duke this year, in the first game of the year. So that's the only thing where their turnover problems on offense could mask poor play on our defense. And the thing with our defense is it is what it is up front and it is what it is at linebacker. But defensive backs have made a lot of plays for us and have made plays for us that won games, a la North Carolina. So I still think 14 points is a lot. Notice that line moved immediately 4 points down from 18 to 14. That tells you there was a ton of money. By the way, there's Georgia Tech, uh, back that way. Go Jackets. Um, I'll read the super chats when I get in a kind of better position to do that. On YouTube right now, man. I ain't got time for calls. What was I saying? Oh yeah, their turnover issues on offense could mask problems on our defense, and our defensive secondary is playing a lot better. Um, I think a good question would be how many points do we have to hold their offense to win? We probably need to. We probably need to hold them under 20. If we hold them under 20, I think we got a good chance of winning this game. If it, you know, like I could definitely see us winning. I could definitely see us winning like 21-17 or something. I just don't. I think realistically, we're held to 28 points or less offensively. All right, we're riding 85 the whole way. That's what we're gonna do. Adjust my continue for 27 miles. Oh, there's a circus going on up here. Is that Dabo? Dabo over there at the circus? Who knows? Um, but yeah, I think a good line where I would be perplexed. Like, I'd definitely take Tech in the 14 points. 10 points would be where if I was going to put money on it, I'd be a lot more unsure. I think I said my non-homer take was Clemson probably wins by 10 points, somewhere in that area, maybe like 31-21, something like that. But I'm excited. I haven't been to Clemson. Pete was telling me I need to go to the SO Club, so we'll definitely check that out. I'm on my way to Winder now, and we're boogieing on up the road. I wish I had that thing where it would read me super chats. If I had something that would read me super chats instead of my GPS hollering at me, that would be ideal for sure. We'll see here. Clemson going to have lots of explosive plays. Our O can't get discouraged. Rest in peace, Lola. Yeah, it stinks. That's the thing. The other side of love is grief. They come in a pair there. You don't get one without the other. I have been. It does have me thinking about getting a small dog for my daughter. She's really into dogs and caring for things. That's the thing with girls. They're far more. I think girls are just a lot smarter at like younger than 10. I'm not saying one is smarter than the other generally. I just think girls develop a lot quicker than the boys do. But yeah, Clemson will be interesting. Louisville struggled last night, and I called this. I said I'm higher than Virginia. I'm higher on Virginia than most people are. I don't think Virginia's as awful as people think they are, and they were ahead in that game. I think later in that game for a second. Louisville definitely didn't cover, and I'm pretty sure my exact words Wednesday were, "I don't think Virginia upsets Louisville, but I also don't think Louisville covers." Who's playing tonight? There's got to be, I would think, one good matchup Friday night. I thought our defense did good against Virginia. I'm not sure if we can expect the same tomorrow. Look, yeah, our defense is going to give up points, and if Clemson does not come out, and this is something that Clemson fans have said that I've heard, if Clemson doesn't come out running Maffa and Shipley 80% of their plays, then Garrett Riley, their offensive coordinator, needs to pay some of his salary back because, I mean, we have the 132nd ranked run defense. Why would you not do that? And the times that Clemson has been successful this year is when they've been able to run the ball, and they definitely look. They have two really good running backs. Maffa does turn the ball over, but still, that's how they beat Notre Dame last week in an upset. Now Notre Dame also helped them out with turning the ball over more than they did, but That needs to be the equation for Clemson. What I've heard from Clemson fans is what offense is going to show up or what offensive strategy is going to be employed. Are they going to revert back to trying to be a more balanced offense, throw a lot with Cade Klubnik, and then kind of sprinkle in some runs with Will Shipley and Phil Maffa? Or are they going to do what is proven to work, which is run Will and Phil? As far as I'm concerned, they can throw every down. That would suit me just fine. That plays into if you had to pick a strength for our defense, the strength for our defense, which is just pass defense. WreckTalk is live. That's right, B Bean. I'm live and I'm on the road. I'm mobile. I just went through Atlanta, just past Georgia Tech. I'm going north now, northeast to be precise, because I'm going to the Clemson game tomorrow. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Michigan, Penn State. I don't know if you guys saw. I guess Manny Diaz, who's Penn State's defensive coordinator, put out like I don't know if it was a TikTok or a short or whatever, doing signs and to like mock Michigan, which I think is hilarious. Like, show up, be loud, especially on third down. Michigan's never going to live that stuff down, man. So the worst thing that could happen for the NCAA is for Michigan to go undefeated, because you know they're going to be calling for a postseason ban, and they've already set the precedent that they will enact penalties quickly with Michigan. That was my thing when it came out today that they're being penalized. It's like, well, why not in the postseason? Like, like if they can get through the regular season without him being coach, they're going to call for him um, to be banned or not be on the sideline or not allowed to coach for the Big Ten championship, and you know that they're going to call for him the same thing in the postseason. So I don't even know that this is the smartest move for the NCAA. I mean, this is a big part of this is pressure from other teams in the Big Ten, namely Ohio State, I'm sure. Um, and I guess Connor Stallions has resigned and whatnot now. I don't know. I don't know what the right thing to do is. Um, I did. I hear you. I did hear that Michigan, big surprise, will be filing a lawsuit. Not a lawsuit, but filing for an injunction. And what an injunction is legalese for, hey, we can't wait for this to be litigated, because by the time it's litigated, our grievance, what we have a grievance against, there's no way to correct it. So we need a judge to look at what evidence we have right now and make a decision. Um, what did he call it? A temporary restraining order, which basically the NCAA can't rule on anything for this season. And there is some precedents for this. I guess some Wisconsin players tried to sue the Big Ten or the NCAA because they weren't able to play during the pandemic or something like that. And I think Pete Thamel of ESPN said that they have already filed for this an injunction, and I think they're going to a courthouse tonight to get before a judge and try and get this injunction recognized. So that would be a lot of egg on the NCAA's face if they rule for this punishment, this 3-game suspension of Harbaugh, and then a court rules that legally they can't do it. This has been the problem with the NCAA as well, that I don't necessarily fault the NCAA for. Anytime that they um, try to enact some actionable punishment against any team, they're going to get hit with litigation, which means every time they enact punishment, they're just going to be wrapped up in litigation with whoever they do it against. I don't really know what you do about that if you're the NCAA. I guess you could come up with an agreement if you want to be a part of the NCAA. You have to go through arbitration with some arbiter first, or that they're impervious from being sued. Oh, now I'm in the dark. This is WreckTalk in the dark. Drive safe, man. Go Jackets. Oh, what's going on, Mojo? I probably won't go on much longer. I was itching to do a live, man. I always do a live on Friday nights. I love getting together, talking with you guys, seeing what you have to say. Even though at the moment I can't really see what you have to say because I'm going 80 miles an hour on 85 northbound here. But I'm sure I'll do a video tomorrow, probably on my way up there with Papa Wreck. I know he's excited. I got the tickets um, this morning. I appreciate the guy that set us up with that. Wish I could recognize you. I can't though, but I definitely appreciate that man. Hooked us up with some tickets. And I've never been to Death Valley before. Oh, we're coming to a stop again. Coming to a stop again. But I've never been to Death Valley. I've heard nothing but great things about that stadium. So it should be a really good time. Well, we got in the middle of the road here. Now we're going under Spaghetti Junction, which for whatever reason, everyone who's not a Tech fan wants to blame Tech for, and every um, traffic civil engineering thing is Tech's fault. Which I guess they only say because none of these other schools have ever put any engineers out that are worth a damn that anyone would want to pay money to have them do anything for them for. UGA even have an engineering department? I know Clemson does. Clemson is kind of like they have like an engineering light program, I think. So like if you want some engineering done on the cheap, you don't really care about safety or efficiency, you can hire a Clemson engineer. They'll get you. They'll get it done cost effective. All right, let's see what you guys saying in the chat. Let me scroll back up a little bit. The scoop and score. All right, let's see if I missed any super chats. I don't think I did. Night wreck, drive safe. Pray for Tech. Yeah, I'm in the way upper levels. Death Valley is down in a hole. Can't see it until you're right up there. Okay. Yeah, I am in the upper decks. The good thing though, if you've ever noticed when you go and buy tickets, and I don't know if you have tickets that are like 10 rows and in, like the first 10 rows will be cheaper than say rows 20 to 50. And it's because you can't see the field when you're that close. Are you going to touch the Clemson rock? Something about that seems a little bit homo. So, no, I won't be doing that. I don't really understand the Clemson rock. Like, I do think the touching the thing, play like a champion at Notre Dame is kind of cheesy. I think Notre Dame as a whole is pretty cheesy and hokey, and I don't know why anyone would give a damn about it. Um, but at least I can understand, like, okay, there's a clear logical path to this play like a champion and thing, and Lou Holtz, I guess. Boy, Lou Holtz likes getting up under Notre Dame's nuts, doesn't he? That was his heyday, and then he went to the Jets and completely fell on his face with the Jets, which might not even be that embarrassing for him. Has there ever been a coach that has gone to the Jets and not embarrassed themselves thoroughly? I mean, I think of Rex Ryan. He went there. Him and his wife did some weird feet fetish porn thing that got leaked, I guess. So, yeah, the Jets is kind of where coaches go to realize that they're not very good and they're also weirdos. But I don't understand the rod. I guess they had a coach that used it as a doorstop, and for some that gives it some kind of mythical powers to play football. But that's a tradition That's kind of dumb to me. Because like the Ramblin' Wreck, like that's a good tradition. Engineering school, old Model T. Who doesn't like old cars? It makes that a ooga horn sound. It's badass. Plus, it gets you on the field really quick. There's no downside to it. And I think Bobby Dodd just pulled a grand out of his pocket to go buy it one day. He didn't care. He's too busy beating Cumberland 222 to nothing. Meet at Nepal. Are you going to be there? Am I going to rush the field? Is it appropriate? Is it appropriate as a visiting team if you upset a team to rush an opposing team's field? I feel like I would be banned for life from ever going back to Clemson, and that would be a bad look, seeing as how I was given the tickets. That being said, yes, I will rush the field if we win. But I'll need one of you guys to come bail me out of jail. Papa Rex said he wasn't doing it no more. Said he was done with it. I can't blame him. I don't blame him. South Carolina did it last year at Clemson. South Carolina rushed the field at Death Valley? Oh, man. Speaking of embarrassing programs, South Carolina. Um, who some I got that was when I went to war like Dabo with some of my own viewers. Someone was saying, "Look at what Lou Holtz did at South Carolina," as if that meant something against Brent Key or something, if I remember right. South Carolina, the best they ever did was Spurrier, and then he left them in the middle of the night. Realized there wasn't no need in continuing at Clemson. They were never going to be anything. Now they've got Shane Beamer, who breaks his own foot, admits that it was dumb, basically. And I hate it because I love Carolina Jackpot. I've told you guys, I think Carolina Jackpot is the most entertaining football YouTuber on YouTube. I'll stand behind that until the day I die. If I could be half as entertaining as Jackpot, I'd be in a pretty good place. But there's something bad wrong with that program. Bad wrong. That's where Jenkins came out of, I believe. EJ Jenkins, I think, wasn't he a transfer from South Carolina? We got. Dang, we had the same thought. Yeah, we're on the same wavelength. On the same wavelength. Um, but that's embarrassing, man. To rush another team's. I guess they hadn't beat them. Uh, they hadn't beat them in what, about as long as it's been since we beat them. And that was when Dabo came in the post game and was like, we got a pretty good record against South Carolina. If y'all don't like it, I go somewheres else. I go somewheres else, baby, where they appreciate me. I I think Dabo's a great coach, but his stuff with like threatening his fan base with leaving, and then what Tantor said, which look, I tend to believe what Tantor says. I'm a super skeptical guy. If you've ever seen me on any other avenues of YouTube, but I tend to believe what Tantor says, and that he said that he knows someone in that family, and he's just biding his time till he goes to Alabama. One I think's hilarious. It's hilarious from a few different standpoints. Let's just assume that's true. That would mean he's not just threatening; he's setting Clemson up for you. I'm leaving because y'all don't appreciate me. And if he thinks he's not appreciated at Clemson, losing 4 games, buddy, buckle up at Alabama. They wanted to fire Nick Saban after they lost to Texas this year, and that's not just me poking fun at Alabama fans. I like Alabama fans. I love Law Tide. My ex-wife's family, most of them are Alabama fans, and they're good people. But you lose 4 games at Alabama and think that they're gonna, not completely rip you a new asshole, then you got another thing coming, man. I hope that that's true. I hope that he does go to Alabama. Why isn't Sea Dog with you? Sea Dog is going to be streaming the game with Pigskin Pete. He was not able to go, which is fun. One day, Sea Dog and I will go to a road game together, I'm sure. After this, we don't have any more, though. We got Syracuse at home, which is an 8 o'clock game. And then we've got Georgia at home, which obviously that time hasn't been released yet. Who does Syracuse have this week? They played Boston College last week. I know I picked the game. They got Pitt, I think, this week. I think I picked them to get their first ACC win at home. Even though I think was that an upset win? Is I think Pitt's favored in that game by 3 points. I think we got a good chance of beating Syracuse. That would get us bowl eligible, and that's the first step. Rome was not built in a day. Rome was not built in a day. Did you pick Georgia Tech to win? I did, but I hedged my bet. It was kind of a, how would Lane put it? How would Lane Kiffin say what I did? Pussy thing to do. I said, look, my homer pick is Tech wins. I think by like 4 points or something like that. Um, and I only said that because I picked them to lose the last 2 weeks and they won. So I'm like, well, let me go the other way. See if they can win three in a row. My non-homer pick, I think, was Clemson wins like 35-28. I think they win by about 7 points. Death Valley is a tough place to go and play. Look, we haven't won in 8 years. We haven't won in Death Valley um, since Dabo Weenie's interim year, and then we haven't beat them. We beat them in Atlanta, Deshaun Watson's freshman year, but he was like playing with a torn ACL, and he left the game after the first quarter. So Dabo Weenie, yeah. When you cry every time a fan criticizes you, and then you respond to the criticism like WreckTalk does to people criticizing him in his comment section, then I call you Dabo Weenie because he's kind of a weenie. Oh, look, late cake with Josh Bates on. After we win, do a live on the way back down 85. Well, Papa Wreck will be driving, so that'll probably be way smarter than what I'm doing now. Exit 108. We're not that far. Not that far. But look, if Tech fans are honest, they'll say, yeah, we're worried about this game, though I could see us winning. Our defense has a lot of problems. If Clemson fans are honest, they'll say, well, we should beat Tech, but I'm worried because of the turnover issue and our offensive issues. And that's why I think 14 points is a little much. I think the line, like Vegas is trying to get equal bets on each side of that line. I think if Vegas was just honest about the line, they'd put it at 10, 10 and a half. Now, that being said, we might get absolutely blown out and run off the field. Um, that would not surprise me either. Um, and that would be because our offense struggles, especially against a good defense, and our defense plays like they did against Boston College or Bowling Green, or pick any one of those. Like against Virginia, though, and look, I'm not at all comparing Clemson to Virginia. Clemson is an infinitely better team than Virginia. The only outcome that would surprise me again is if we somehow blew Clemson out. If we beat them by 20 points, three scores, I'd probably have to pick my jaw up off the floor because that would mean that a team with far superior talent just got run off the field. But anyways, all right, guys, I'll end the live stream here. I'm glad I got to come in, talk with you guys for a little bit up on my way to Papa Rex. Hope y'all have a good night. Thank you for all the super chats. I'm sorry if I missed one, but I do appreciate it. Thank you guys for coming in here, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Now, I have to figure out a way to end this while I'm driving. I've never done it this way before.